30 days of persuasion plays with me, Paul Macetta. Welcome back. I guess I should be welcoming myself back. Took a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a break. I was traveling, and I was a little under the weather, and I didn't want to shoot these videos with a stuffy nose, so took a little bit of a break, but now I'm here, back in action, ready to go with episode number 24. In this episode, we're going to cover the fact that word choice matters. So anytime you're communicating with somebody with the intention of getting them to do something, persuading them, selling them, pitching them, convincing them, getting them to say yes, the word choice that you use matters very, very much because it can drastically influence their decision. Could drastically influence their decision to say yes, could drastically influence their decision to say no. You see, here's the thing. People, no matter how logical they may think they are, and I went over this already, I think, in 2 videos, people are emotional. We make decisions based on emotion. Our whole world is ruled by our emotion, regardless of how logical we think we are. Second thing about human beings is that we're cognitive misers, meaning that we don't want to use up all of our mental resources. We want to save those resources for the really important things. So most of the time, we function on autopilot, making decisions on a subconscious level. This preserves our cognitive resources. Now, for the person that understands influence, persuasion, and powerful communication, there's an opportunity there. The opportunity is this: by simply changing the way that you present your information to people, you can influence their decision-making process. Now, here's the problem. The problem is that because most people aren't studying influence, persuasion, human communication, and psychology, they're shooting themselves in the foot when they communicate with other people, and they're influencing them to do the opposite of what they want them to do. And part of the reason why that happens is because they're not cognizant of the fact of what they should be doing. And one of the things that you have to focus on from the very beginning is learning how to understand word choice and how to think more and have more awareness over the words that you use when you communicate with other people. So, for example, I want you to think about the difference between the word contract versus the word agreement. So, if you and I were sitting down and I was selling you a gym membership, and it was for a 12-month commitment, meaning that once you join, you have to pay every month for 12 months. If we were sitting down getting ready to finalize the details and I said, okay, I just need you to sign the contract versus I just need your okay on the agreement. Actually, I changed 2 words there. I changed signature, or I changed the word sign to your okay, and I changed the word contract to agreement. But think about those 2 words and think about the images that come to mind when I use the word contract versus the word agreement. A contract feels forced. It feels like you're locked in. It feels like you can't escape, right? It feels like once you're in, there's no turning back. Agreement presents an image that you and I sat down, I laid out everything for you, you made a conscious decision to agree with me. You decided that what I had to offer made sense to you. So we formed an agreement. And the agreement was that you would join my gym, and in return, I would provide you with all the services and equipment that you have access to, right? Same meaning, but 2 different words that create a different feeling within somebody. Think about when someone's talking to you and you don't really understand what they're saying. And so think about these 2 options. Option 1 is you turn around and you tell the person, can you please explain yourself? Versus, can you elaborate on that a little bit more? You're asking the person to do the same thing in both instances. You're asking them to give you some more details on whatever it is that they're talking about so you can better understand them. But please explain yourself. What do we associate that with? we associate that with situations where we did something wrong, maybe in school, or maybe we get pulled over by a police officer and they're asking us why we're driving so fast, right? So please explain yourself. We're used to associating that with situations and contexts where other people are demanding an explanation from us versus can you elaborate on that sounds a lot less intrusive. Like almost like we're the unintelligent person. We're the person that it's our fault for not understanding what you're saying. So we're just asking you to elaborate on it as opposed to making you feel like you're doing something wrong, right? So those are just a couple of different examples of how you can substitute word choice, right? And so what I want you to first think about, I'm going to give you 3 tips here today. First is carefully think about your presentation. If you are in the business of influencing and persuading other people, meaning that your ability to communicate is directly tied to how much money you make, you need to think a lot more carefully about every single aspect of your presentation, and you need to try to identify words that could be substituted. You got to try to identify words that may cause negative feelings or negative emotions in people and then substitute them with less intrusive words. Second thing that you want to do is you want to identify any types of words that could backfire on you. So you want to identify words that basically will do the complete opposite of what you're asking people to do. So it's almost the same as what we're doing in the first tip, but this is really identifying what we call negative selling words. Words that just are not going to have any potential influential or persuasive impact on anybody, and you need to remove those totally from the equation. The last thing that you want to do is make a list of all of the different words. I want you to consciously sit down and make a list of all of the different words that fit your presentation or are conducive to the context of the interaction that you're having, and make sure that you have access to them at all times so that whenever you need them, you get into the habit of quickly substituting those words. Because I got news for you. The more you practice and get acclimated and get used to word substitution in one area of your life, it will, first of all, it will start to come naturally to you in that area of your life. But guess what? It will also leak over into other areas of your life. So in social situations or in situations where it's not necessarily business related, you will learn how to use better word choices when communicating with people, and the result will be that you'll become more influential and more persuasive and a better communicator overall. So again, carefully think about your presentation, identify any words that could backfire, substitute any words that seem or could appear to be as intrusive, make a list of all of these different words, and practice, practice, practice. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, subscribe, and leave a comment.